Hi guys, it's Davis here with another video, and in this video I'm going to talk about 7 books that helped transform my life and mindset. Now, most of the books in this list are my personal preference and the books that I read at a particular time in my life when I felt the need to. So each one I was reading for purpose, trying to find some answers or trying to find some helps and insights regarding a particular field, a particular subject. So to begin with, the first book on this list is The Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt. Now, this is a book about basically happiness and how we view things and our perspective of things basically determines our happiness. Because so many people are out there wondering why they're not feeling happy, and they're looking for happiness in the wrong places, in the wrong things. And in this book, it talks about like the science behind happiness and how around 50 to 80% of our happiness comes from our gene. It's a baseline for how happy we are, for example. So it's not all about just everyone can think themselves happy. Some of us are just have different baselines. So in this book, it talks about that, and it talks about just being happy and how we can change our perspective of happiness and how we think of it. Not relying on things from the outside to make us happy, but rather how we view the things around us to find happiness in every little thing around us and in our environment, and making the most of what we have around us. So if you're curious or if you're feeling unhappy and you want to feel more happy, more fulfilled in life, it's a book I'd highly recommend. The second book on the list is As a Man Thinketh, and this is by James Allen. And this is one of my favorite books, and it's quite a short book, maybe even more of a long essay. And it's basically about how we think and how we look at life, the thoughts that we hold in our heads and the things that we constantly focus on, how that affects our life. We need to be aware of the power of our mind and how what we constantly focus on is what we will basically attract. It's not so much about just positive thinking, but it's more about just being aware of the thoughts and what you're actually focusing on. And it's a book that I would highly recommend to anyone just having doubts and having like negative thoughts, just knowing that the power of your mind is something that you need to control, something that you need to take care of, focus on the right things. The third book I have is similar to the As a Man Thinketh. It is Thought Vibration by William Walker Atkinson. Now, this book is what started the law of attraction. If you've heard of The Secret, it's I think also out on Netflix, and it's a book as well. And this is kind of the basis of where all of those sort of ideas, that theory kind of stems from. It's about the thoughts that we have and how us thinking consistently and constantly about something more positive or focusing on what we want, we are more likely to go down that route. We're more likely to take the actions to make those thoughts a reality. It tells you more about the mind and just how more to think and how more to like focus on the solution rather than the problem. Focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. Because in our mind, the mind can't tell the difference between us focusing on the bad, saying you don't want to be poor. You need to instead focus on, I want to be more wealthy. I want to be able to provide for my family. Those are the things that you should focus on and hold in your thoughts, not the negative and the things that you're trying to run away from. And the fourth book that I have on the list is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And it's a book that focuses on bringing us back to the present moment, the now, us enjoying the present moment. Because most of the time we're either planning for the future or we're looking back at the past. You find yourself planning, I need to do this tomorrow, I need to get this ready. And then when tomorrow comes, you're again thinking about the next day, the future again. Yet when you're in that present moment, you don't actually fully enjoy it. And this book basically tells us to come back to the present moment, enjoying what is around us there and then, not constantly just thinking about the future or the past, being present. The fifth book on the list is Mindset by Carol Dweck. And in this book, it's talking basically about growth mindset, how we need to believe that we can improve. It's about hard work and effort. And with that we can actually improve our lives. We can work hard at something and get better. It's not about like, okay, if I'm not born with something, or if I don't have a certain gift that I'm born with, then I cannot excel in a particular field. This is a good book about your mindset, and especially developing a growth mindset. And there's a lot of science behind it, and this is why I really highly recommend this book, as well as the next book, number 6 on the list, Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. And this is by Angela Duckworth. And this is a book about your perseverance, you working through things when the going gets tough, not giving up, not just quitting when you work on something and then it starts going south, or you don't start enjoying it, for you to just give up and look for the next thing to try. It's about just sticking in there. And this especially applies in today's world where people are miserable at work. They don't know their passion or their purpose, and they're seeking to try and find it. And they feel unhappy in whatever they're doing. But sometimes it's just how you're looking at your particular job. Sometimes you have to change your perspective. Sometimes it's not just about jumping onto the next new thing or just changing job. The grass is not always greener on the other side. So you have to change your perspective sometimes. It talks also about passion, and how passion is not something that you'll just find instantly. You don't just snap your fingers and it's there. You don't just wake up in the morning and feel like your job is the most passionate thing that you have, or is so purposeful. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you have to just change your perspective. Sometimes you have to grow into it. So Grit is a book I would recommend when you're feeling down, when you want to give up, or you feel having doubts about something that you've started that now you're wanting to quit. That initially in the beginning you are really excited about it, but it seems like all of a sudden now it doesn't feel like it is actually for you. So this is about giving that extra push. The final book that I have is The One Thing by Gary Keller. Now, The One Thing is a brilliant book, and it's more about productivity and focusing on just one thing. It takes some ideas from the 80-20 principle, and it's more about just focusing on one thing that makes the most difference. Just doing one thing in whatever part of your life it is. So it will help you focus and narrow down the things that are most important, the things that are valuable to you, the things that makes the most difference in your life, rather than just trying to do more. Sometimes less is more. So those are the 7 books that I recommend. They're books that really helped me transform my life and transform my mindset. And I would highly recommend them. Focus on what you actually want and find what you actually want to improve in your life, and then find a book geared towards that. And it's more important to read a book, absorb the content, apply the content, rather than to just read as many books as you can. So go out there and find a book that will meet your needs. Thank you for watching this video, and let me know in the comments what you got from it. And if you found it useful, please like, subscribe, and share it as well to help us grow and empower more people. And we can only do that with your help. And if you're interested in working with me to help boost your self-transformation, achieve your goals, and get your mindset right, then check out our website and book a free discovery call. The link is in the description. Take care and bye.